That started.
Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, online presenters, and guests. This meeting of online presenters has begun. Guests, please note that in order to become a member of our club, you must be a current or a former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 speeches from either the traditional or Pathways programs, or you must have substantive relevant presentation experience that you demonstrate in a 3 to 5 minutes delivered speech delivered in one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to board approval. Now, if you have not already done so, please change your panel name to ensure it shows your name and role if you have one. Right-click on the corner of your box and select Rename to do so. We have members and oftentimes guests from many countries throughout the world. Thus, as a professional organization, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that might be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. And also, please note, we will be recording the meeting. Your video and audio contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. Please also mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Today's theme is cultural communication. And the word of the day is converse. What's the definition of converse? Well, to talk informally with another or others, exchange views, opinions by talking. And now, please welcome our club president, DTM, Nik Lakhani.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Welcome everybody to the wonderful meeting we're going to have today, members and guests alike. It gives me great pleasure from Manchester, England to welcome you. We are in Tuesday, but some of you are still in Monday. So we want you to catch up. So pay attention. We're going to have a wonderful meeting today. We've got a wonderful Toastmaster with some wonderful speakers. Let's not wait around any longer. Please give us a big hand for our Toastmaster of the day. Please welcome Viviana Widjaja.
Okay, thank you, Nik. So I live in a multicultural country, so we have at least 5 different languages spoken in Malaysia. And online presenter is also a multicultural club. And for me, I think it's important that in multicultural we respect each other and not making judgment. And also we will see how wonderful English is spoken by non-native speakers in this club. So let me introduce the role players today that can help for this meeting. First, I would like to invite the timer, Walsh, to explain the timing devices.
Certainly there. Our speeches today, according to the agenda, are 5 to 7 minutes. So with that in mind, at 5 minutes, just lining them up here, at 5 minutes, you will see this. At 6 minutes, you will see this. And at 7 minutes, you will see this. For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, you will see the green. 1 minute and a half, you will see the yellow. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red. Is anybody colorblind that we have to worry about? Nobody colorblind? Great, then this will work. Back to you.
Thank you, Carl. Now next is our counter, Roxanne Duncanson, to explain her role.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. So Toastmaster members aim to eliminate the use of utterance such as ah, so, and you know, among others. These crutch words and fillers undermine our message and distractions. So my purpose today is to listen carefully and to keep track of when these words are used throughout the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosanna. And the grammarian is Dr. Tosh. Would you like to explain your role? Is Dr. Tosh here?
Oh, you were talking, I thought I was taking on the role of, I thought I was doing chat monitor, but I'll take grammarian, I'm sorry. So as a grammarian, I'm gonna be listening for grammar. I am also going to be listening for language use of word usage as well.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Tosh.
You're welcome, I'm sorry.
So, and next is the person who will watch us all the time is John Quick as a watcher. Please explain your role.
Madam Toastmaster, as the watcher, I'll begin the meeting by checking out everyone's video and sending a private message if there's anything that I can help you improve with your visuals. Then I will watch the speeches and other activities. If there's any highlights to point out, I'll bring those to my report at the end of the meeting to everyone. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, John. And chat monitor is Jim Barber. Can you explain your role?
Absolutely, Madam Toastmaster. As the chat monitor, I will be monitoring the chat box. I am also going to be doing my Dr. Tosh impersonation, and I will also be watching as members converse, notice, converse with each other in the chat box, and I will alert you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, to anything that comes up that you might need to know about. Otherwise, I will confine my remarks to a report at the end of the meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jim. And the next one is the vote counter, Lukas Calafell.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As a vote counter, my responsibility is to document the votes for qualified speakers for the 3 speaking segments, prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. The way that a member and guest can vote for their best speaker, best table topics, and best evaluator is by opening the chat box and sending me a private message with best speaker or best table topics or best evaluator and the person's name. And I believe towards the end of the meeting, I will announce the winners for those 3 speaking segments. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lukas. And then we have, we will come to the main section of the meeting, which is prepare speeches. So I will call the first speaker, Brian David Crawford. The title is To Be the Best Part 2. And I will read the introduction. Did you know that BTC is a professional video gamer streamer? That's right. People watch him play video games on the internet, and he gets paid to do it. Here to tell you about his journey is Brian David Crawford. So let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, but specifically the members of online presenters. My name is Brian David Crawford, and I am a professional video game player. But before I was a professional video game player, I worked for a company remotely. That means I sat in this room every single day and worked. I didn't go into an office or anything like that. But I knew the most important thing to what I was going to do was my ability to communicate through a webcam to other people. So I said, if I want to be the most effective person possible, I need to be the absolute best WebEx person that Cigna has ever had. I want new hires to come on board, and they're like, what do I do with WebEx? They're like, you've got to talk to Brian David Crawford. So I said, cool, let's figure out how I can do that. How can I become such a great person via WebEx? I took 2 things. One, I joined this club. And I'm not saying I'm the best speaker, but I did win the Table Topics contest 2 months ago. Secondly, I joined Twitch. Twitch is an online broadcasting system. It gives people the ability to broadcast themselves to the internet and people to watch them. Now, Twitch has some very interesting metrics to determine whether or not you are the best. And I'm not going to say I'm the best, but I want to tell you the journey of what I've gone through to get to where I am. It all started off, I signed up for an account. I started playing games, and I was struggling with it. I'd play a game, and maybe someone would watch, or maybe someone wouldn't. Maybe someone would talk to me, maybe someone wouldn't. I was pretty much a failure. Basically, the biggest failure I'd ever been in my life. I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So I tried different games. I played Tomb Raider. I played Lego games. I even played golf, for crying out loud. I couldn't figure out what was preventing people from watching me and interacting with me. This was what I had to do to become the best. Then upon a whim, I purchased Just Dance for my kids. This is a game where you dance, and the computer recognizes you and gives you a score. So I said, hey, I could play Just Dance, I could get my exercise in, and no one will watch me on the internet. This is a win-win-win. So I started doing that. And sure enough, the most crazy thing happened. People started watching me. Not like a lot of people, and not for a long period of time. I would average 30 to 40 viewers a stream who would watch me for about 13 to 15 seconds in length. So it was very humbling to know that people were like, hey, let's check this guy out. Ugh, we're good. We don't waste any more of our life paying any more attention to this dude. So I said, what's going wrong? If I could figure out what these people didn't like about me, I could then possibly change and improve my stream experience. So I started watching other people to try to get inspiration. And I came across incredible streamers like Lil Siha, who's also known as Avery, and I started to see what they were doing well. Now, I said I can implement some of these changes, not all of them. I'm not going to spend 30 to 40 grand to turn my basement into a full exercise studio, but I can do a couple little things that might help improve this ability. So I made the changes, and no one watched, and my viewer count didn't increase. Nothing was working. I couldn't figure out what was preventing people from wanting to watch me more than for about 15 seconds at a time. So I did the most ridiculous, lamest thing I could think of. I actually watched myself. How many of us have taken the time to watch the chat replay in the meeting that you actually have been a part of to see how did you sound? How did you look like? What does YouTube see versus what do I see right now when I'm communicating with the camera? That's that feedback that I wasn't getting. And I learned a couple of things. I learned that my lighting sucked, and I learned that my microphone was terrible. So I fixed those two things, and instantly, no one was watching me. Nothing was changing. Nothing was growing. But while I kept talking to people and connecting with people, I started to build some friendships with other streamers and other watchers. And then those people started watching me because they wanted to support me. We built a friendship, and they wanted to support me. And that's what it took. No one wants to be the only person watching someone. So if someone's got 3 or 4 viewers, yeah, let's check them out. Let's see what's going on. I had good audio, I had good video, and I had people watching me and interacting with me. And that was the key. Shortly thereafter, my stream started to take off. And it took about 2 to 3 months, and I was able to become a Twitch affiliate. Twitch affiliates are people who meet certain benchmarks, number of followers, number of viewers, and thus are able to get paid money. I actually make money. Not a lot of money, so far. I've made $13.26 at Twitch. So I haven't made anything that has returned my investment of what I've spent buying a new microphone, buying nice lights, and doing all the little things necessary to make myself more impressive, more interesting for people to watch me. But I'm starting to grow as a person. And that's the most important thing. I'm learning how to take these skills, these video game broadcasting skills, and I can bring it into my work. I can bring it here into this club. And most importantly, now that I'm an affiliate, I have some new goals because I want to become a Twitch partner. Twitch partners make a lot more money. They get much bigger cuts of the cake than they hand out to affiliates. But I have more goals I have to make. I have to average 75 viewers at any given time throughout my stream. Considering I'm at right about 3.42 viewers, I got a way to go. But that's part of it. Rome wasn't built in a night. You can't just drop 10, 20 grand and become an instant streamer. You have to build a community. You have to grow as an individual. And you have to give people content that's authentic to yourself. Because when you do that, people are going to want to watch. And that's the most important thing that I can talk about when we talk about what it is to be a Twitch streamer. You have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone and do something that doesn't seem natural at all. And that's what I love the most about it. And that's what becoming the best is all about. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brian, for sharing your interest or your love for the video game. And I wish you more success to gain more followers. Let's give a pause or like 1 minute, a timer. Can you give a pause to show our support, or to Brian, you can write or converse in the chat box.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't understand.
1 minute, 1 minute pause to give time for people to write the support on the chat
Oh, sure,
box.
sure, okay.
Please let me know if it is up, if it's 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. I will. Okay, you can go ahead.
Yes, it's 1 minute. Carl, is already 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we move to the second speaker is Sarra, Idehen. The title is A Hand in the Dark, and I will read the introduction. Mentoring is a cornerstone in the Toastmasters experience. Sometimes, even when you may not know it, you may be mentoring someone, or someone may be mentoring you in the general sense of the word. But what is mentoring? How does Toastmasters envision mentoring? In her speech today, Sarra will answer those questions and also give a personal experience of being a protégé. Please help me welcome Sarra with her speech title, A Hand in the Dark, Mentoring.
Imagine you're in an unfamiliar place and it's very dark. You have no means of illuminating your path. All around you, there are crevices and steep drop-offs. At any moment, with the wrong step, you could tumble in an abyss. You are aware of this, so you walk very slowly. In every direction, you hear night sounds, animals lurking in the dark. And in that moment when your heart feels like it can withstand no more, you hear a soft, gentle voice that says, "Step this way. Take my hand." Not just any hand and not just any voice, but the hand and the voice of a friend who came looking for you. You step confidently. You have hope. It's still dark, but you're not afraid because that friend who's holding your hand knows the way. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, you may never experience such a dramatic thing in your life, but to me, mentoring is that hand in the dark. According to Toastmasters, mentors are knowledgeable, positive, they're supportive, they're respectful and dependable. And on the other hand, protégés, well, they're open to feedback and they're ready to learn and they're ready to go to that next level. And with the support of that mentor, they're able to climb that ladder and reach that next rung. we can see from this indication that Toastmasters takes mentoring very seriously. With the pathways rolled out a couple of years ago, Toastmasters also rolled out the Toastmasters mentor. And it's a course where you can get a certificate as a Toastmaster mentor. Now that's a little different than what I am going to speak about my experience today. My experience involves my Toastmaster club in Salt Lake City and how someone approached me, conversed with me, and showed me how I could be involved in Toastmasters. I remember that day I was looking for something. I was new to Salt Lake City, just in from Phoenix. I didn't know anybody. I looked online and I found Image Masters Toastmasters. I thought, oh, okay, let me try, let me go. And I went. I sat in the meeting. I didn't know exactly what was going on or if I would ever be able to participate. But I sat there, I went through it. I came another time, went through it again. And on my third time coming, I decided to join. And I was approached by Wanda. Wanda was a member of the club, and she had a number of years as a Toastmaster. She put her arms on my shoulders. She made me feel so welcome. And she helped me to get started on Toastmasters, showed me what to do in the meetings, how things were going to go. She encouraged me to take roles in the meeting. And finally, I gave my icebreaker. From the icebreaker, I went on and I finished the CC manual, the CL manual, ACB. And I remember getting an email from Wanda, and she was outlining everything I needed to do to get the ALB. So she was telling me how I should pace out my speeches, set a date, see when I was going to accomplish that. And so I had a roadmap, and that's what I followed. I also was able to, from that, get the courage to start not only participating in meetings, but I began to take on officer roles. With Wanda's encouragement, I took on VP membership. And then I went from VP membership to VP education, then to president, back to VP education, treasurer, and now back to president again. And also in the district, I started being a coach for this club, and they had not been distinguished for a long time. And I was able to coach them to select distinguished in 6 months. And from there, I became a division director. Can you imagine me, shy me, a division director? And that was an explosive experience. Learning so many new things, getting put in so many situations. It was just really fantastic. Maybe not when I was going through it, I was kind of stressed out. But anyway, I made it through. In 2018, I got an opportunity to go to Africa. That was my first time going, and I visited Brazzaville in the Republic of the Congo. My daughter's a diplomat, and she was at that embassy, and I was able to make a speech about Toastmasters for one of the clubs that the embassy supported and sponsored. And later that year, I was also able to go to Nigeria. That was my first time. And I went to a club meeting in Abuja, and I was timer for that meeting. And those two different experiences, so I was able to see hunger that people in other places had, for the Toastmasters experience. And it also showed me that Toastmasters was more global than my club, in my area, my division, and my district. So when you're thinking about, you may be in the dark, maybe not the first time at Toastmasters, but just in the dark, or you had a new experience, had a new goal you're trying to reach out to the mentor. Set up for a mentor. I think you'll be happy that you did. It will be such an experience. It'll bring you to a level you've never been before. And I remember with COVID-19, our club had never done online meetings. So I reached out over the internet and I found online presenters. And what a blessing that was. Through you and all the professional people in this club, I was able to take information back to my club. And now we're doing speech contests online. We did officer training online. And every week we have a meeting online. So that is a mentorship to me as well. So when you're thinking about where you want to go and what you want to do, just reach out for the mentor. You don't have to be in the dark. Just take that hand because it's ready for you. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sarah, for your inspiring speech. And that's true that mentoring can grow leaders. Now we go move to the speaker 3, Roxanne, Hosein. Oh, sorry, I need to give 1 minute time to show your support and comment for Sarah in the chat box. Please let me know when the time is up, Carl. Let's show your support to Sarah.
One minute is up.
Thank you. Let's move to the third speaker, Roxanne Hosein. The title is Not Until I Do the Research. And her introduction is a ketogenic diet is a high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate diet. So in 2018, it was most searched question of trending health related question on Google. The idea is that getting most of your calories from fat forces your body to use different energy pathways. So instead of carbs for energy, the body burns fat, entering a state called ketosis. So let's welcome Roxanne Hosein.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how did I go from this to this? I started a ketogenic diet not because I was overweight, but because my hemoglobin A1C levels had skyrocketed to pre-diabetes and my cholesterol was in the red zone. Something had to change. And what a change. Feeling better, looking better, and measurable improvements in my overall health. I said to my husband, honey, you gotta get on board with this. And he said, not until I do the research. I said, honey, no, I got you. And I shared with him the works of my gurus, Toastmasters and Eric Berg, but he would have none of it because he did not want to hear from these self-appointed experts. He would only take his information from, as he put it, doctors of medicine. So despite my outstanding results, he had some concerns, and they were these. First, that it is unnatural. The body fuels from sugar, and fats is an emergency situation. So something that's unnatural couldn't be sustainable. Second, that it's a fat diet. It hasn't been around long enough. So we don't know what the long-term effects of a ketogenic diet is on the body. The third, and you may have this concern too, is that eating that amount of fat couldn't possibly be good for you and is bound to result in other morbidities. So these are the three things that I focused on. I kept my research to medical facilities, clinical research, and doctors of medicine, as he put it. So let's take a look at what I found. Starting with his first concern, that it isn't natural. Dr. Stephen Finney and Dr. Amit Ergin are both endocrinologists, and they explain the physiology of metabolism this way. Every one of us, all humans, have what's called metabolic flexibility. That is the ability to fuel from either glucose or ketones. In fact, in all likelihood, you've all been in ketosis. Ketosis is that state, that nutritional state, where the body is burning fat for fuel. And it happens when you've eaten less and exercised more, or maybe you've gone a day without eating and you've run out of glucose and the body needed to fuel. Now, keto adaptation, that's a whole different story. That is when the cells of the body within the mitochondria undergoes a change, an adaptation, as it were, to adapt to preferring ketones as its primary source of fuel. The fact is that the body will adapt to whatever you're feeding it. It's physiological and it's natural. So that flexibility remains in all of us. Now, his second concern was that it hasn't been around long enough. Now, that was easy enough to refute. Kate Zaratsky is a clinician with the Mayo Clinic, and she explains that since the 1920s, a ketogenic diet has been used as a mode of therapy for epilepsy and in pediatrics. And this therapy has been used by both the Johns Hopkins Medicine and Mayo Clinics. They've both been long outstanding pioneers of this mode of therapy. Further, exogenous insulin was not discovered until 1921. It was used for the first time as a mode of treatment for type 1 diabetes in January of 1992. So what happened to type 1 patients prior to 1922? They could only be kept alive by a ketogenic diet. The options for them were either fuel from ketones or die. Essentially, there was no option. His third objection, the fat content. Dr. Sarra Hallberg and Dr. Jeff Volek have conducted extensive clinical research, peer-reviewed, some longitudinal as well, for the effects of a ketogenic diet on the body in various circumstances. And they have found that this metabolic state has been shown to have widespread and profound therapeutic and performance enhancing effects, ranging from reversal of type 2 diabetes, the elimination or reduction of pain, reduction of tumors, reduction of the risk of cardiovascular disease, reduction of inflammation, and enhanced brain performance. Now, this one you'll find interesting. The use of a ketogenic diet in the treatment of cancer. Every cell in the human body, brain, heart, lungs, your musculoskeletal, can fuel from either glucose or ketones. A cancer cell does not know what to do with a ketone. It thrives in a sugary environment. So when you starve the environment of sugar, a cancer cell cannot thrive. So MD Anderson Center will put its patients on a ketogenic diet. Now, my husband has said to me, honey, if I told you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You don't have to keep nagging me every 6 months. It's okay, honey. I've done the research. I will post my bibliography in the chat, and back to you, Toastmaster-viviana.
Thank you, Roxanne, for inspiring speech on losing a diet. And you definitely look great. So can we have 1 minute to show our support and comments in to converse with Roxanne in the chat box? Is 1 minute over?
Yes, 1 minute is up.
Okay, we will hear more short speeches from table topics, and I would like to invite the topic master of today is Antoinette Trim.
Good evening to everyone, and thank you, Toastmaster. I'm just going to ask just 3 questions, and I know that the timer knows what to do in this segment. The question is, describe how a holiday is celebrated other than Christmas in your region. I will say it again. Describe how a holiday is celebrated other than Christmas in your region. I would like to call on Angela Heath.
Mrs. Table Topics Matter President. One of the holidays that we celebrate in the Washington, D.C. area, like probably no place else, of course, is the 4th of July, the nation's birthday. And our fireworks display is probably some of the best in the country. So we celebrate it with fireworks, barbecue, potato salad. We all go down to the National Mall and take our picnic baskets and our music, and we stay there until late at night, enjoying the company of the other watchers, the fireworks, and there's always ice cream at the end of the evening. So the 4th of July in Washington, D.C., I don't think it can be beat any place else, at least in a country. And I would encourage you guys to come to our city and check it out, because it truly is not just a fun experience, but a very delicious experience too. Ms. Table Topics Master, thank you.
Thanks for your synopsis of the 4th of July holiday. I would see it on television. I've never seen it in real. I would like to ask another question. If I am to visit your country for the first time, which cultural event will you take me to? If I'm to visit your country for the very first time, which cultural event will you take me to? I am going to ask Birgit.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I would say that if you come to my country, which is actually Germany, I would take you to a Christmas market, actually. So you didn't give me the clause right now that I can't talk about Christmas. And the reason I like it is because there's a sense of community, and it's much less commercial than the Christmas that we see where the decorations go up in Costco. It used to be before Thanksgiving. Now it seems to be even earlier than that. So now it's before Halloween even. So the thing about the Christmas markets is that everybody meets there, and there's the mulled wine, but instead of having a lot of commercial things that you can buy, you can compare the different mulled wines from different stations. You can actually buy handcrafted and wooden carved ornaments and toys for the kids. So it's a very different kind of quote unquote shopping experience. It really is about the community, and there's a lot of food. It being Germany, of course, there are sausages. They have curry sausages, German sausages, lots of mustard, etc. But it's a place for friends and colleagues to meet after a work day. And then you stroll around and just see what you can investigate. And you've got Christmas music playing in the background. So if you think about it, it's kind of like an art and wine festival, but in the winter with a different theme. And it really is a place of community. Every time I go back to Germany for a business and it happens to be around that area, that's always where the team meets, because it's a great atmosphere and it's a very festive atmosphere. So it's not like the Oktoberfest that you might have heard of where everybody's in the tents just drinking beer, but it really is about the spirit of Christmas and less about the commercialism. And next time you come to Germany, I will take you for some mulled wine at a Christmas market. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you again. A lot of Tobagonians normally journey to Germany, as well as Germans will come to Tobago. And that's very good. Thanks. Just one more question I have. What are the typical foods served in your country or your region? What are the typical foods served in your country or your region? And I would like to call on Taiana.
Hi, thank you. Well, I'm from Brazil, and I can say, I'm not bragging, but we have the best food in the whole world. If you ever have been to Brazil, São Paulo, you can eat so well. So I don't know if you ever ate some feijoada. It's black beans with some meat, and we have caipirinha, the drink comes around, and then we have samba with caipirinhas and food. So it becomes even better. Food tastes better, and I cannot think about any other better food than my food. And I bet maybe some of you might have some suggestions. I would say that when my daughter should decide to take some Brazilian food to school, her little friends get very, very jealous about her. And that's a good sign, right? When kids love your food and they want to eat real food, black beans, that's a really good sign. So I can definitely say that I love Brazilian food. And I love food at all. I love food from all over the world. And now I'm just becoming fan of Canadian poutine. A little bit more fat than my Brazilian food, but tastes, oh my God, so good. I haven't learned how to cook it yet. My daughter is asking me, Mom, please try that. And who knows, I'm gonna get there. But by now, if you come to my place, you're gonna have great Brazilian food and caipirinha and samba and have some fun, because food is all about getting people together and having some fun, enjoying life. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for participating. And I guess we cannot celebrate anything without food. So I'll be back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Viviana.
Thank you, Antoinette, for the excellent topics to bring more merrier atmosphere with the celebration around the world. So next, we would like to celebrate how well we performed today with the evaluation, and I will call the General Evaluator, Graham Cairns.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Before I get to the general evaluation, I note that the timer has put the times for all three table topic speakers in the chat, and all three are eligible. So please vote for the best table topics participant, Angela, Birgit, or Taiana, and you can send that to vote counter Lukas. That gives him a chance to do that while I'm going through the evaluation portion of the meeting. Now, I note that there are a couple of people here who are not Toastmasters, so you may not be aware of what it is that we are about to do. The thing with Toastmasters is that everything that we do is evaluated. We don't judge, we don't criticize, but we do provide feedback. We provide evaluation. For me, it is the cornerstone of the Toastmasters learning experience, because if we just stand here and flap our gums, it doesn't do us any good. It's when we get that feedback, when we get that peer evaluation, that we improve and that our evaluators improve. How our evaluators will improve tonight is a moot question, because they are all really good evaluators, I might tell you. And to evaluate our first speech tonight, which was by Brian, ladies and gentlemen, for a time of 2 to 3 minutes, will you please welcome Carol Prahinski.
Well, thank you, Graham, and thank you so much, BCD. I loved watching your video and listening to those experiences that you shared with us. I felt that your presentation included a lot of heart. You shared with us a number of things about your life, including that you're a professional gamer, that you earned $13. I love that level of detail. And don't forget the 26 cents. And that you also had this background of being a remote worker. You had excellent eye contact with the camera, looking directly at us. I think that's one of the things that really helps a member, a speaker, stand out, especially in this remote environment, that we can connect heart to heart. Thank you. Here's an area to work on. I'd like to see you improve your communication on the conclusion. This is a visionary communication project, level 5. Congratulations on making it to this level. I want to hear more about what's in it for me. So as you spoke, I heard a lot of your heart, but I want you to go one further step, digging a little deeper into who you are, to share what lessons we could take from you. I want you to go just a little bit harder, a little bit farther. Now, you spent some time talking about your Just Dance and the scores, and there was a very important sentence you said in this segment, which was, what did people not like about me? I think there might be something I can change from that. So if I change, they will like me. And that was the implication. There's, like I said, a lot of heart in this speech. That was one of the points that showed that heart. There's a judgment in there that you're not good enough as you are. We'll skip over that for now. That's a whole bigger conversation. But I do want to encourage you to expand that further in your conclusion, to say, what did you change? Go farther in sharing what that was with us. And also the recognition that you are already a great person as you are. Now, I know you have this big fancy microphone. I want you to listen to this recording of your speech, because I'm hearing a little bit of backtone on that microphone. Not that I have the best microphone, I know I don't, but there's something else going on with that microphone that I want you to expand on a little bit further. That's a techie side, but it's something that I noticed in your presentation. So as you receive my written evaluation for your speech today, you will see that I am lauding you with this amazing performance. You conversed with us in such a deep level already, but I'm asking you to go a little bit farther, particularly with your conclusion, and I continue to encourage you for future speeches. Thank you, BCD. Love it. Keep going. Back to you, Mr. Evaluator, General
Thank you,
Evaluator.
Carol. Thank you, Carol, for that comprehensive summary of observations about BDC speech. And great, well done. Now, our second evaluator today is evaluating Sarra. Now, Krishn is a glutton for punishment because he gets out of bed at stupid o'clock in the morning to come along to these Toastmasters, but he's doing so anyway. It is you, Krishn, isn't it? It says it's you. Yeah. So, to prevent an evaluation of Krishn, please, of Sarra, please welcome Krishn.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Toastmaster Sarra, thank you so much. thank you from the bottom of my heart, if I can find it. You really did so well and so good for the mentoring of this club by sharing your message. The number of requests I'm getting for mentoring, this is awesome. Thank you. Sarah, as you started your message, you did something very interesting and quite unique. You grabbed my attention. You set the scene and you were taking me in a direction where I was asking myself, what's coming up? And I stopped everything I was doing because I was taking notes. And I started listening and paying attention. That was very well done, Sarah. And as you went along, you did something also amazing, the powerful words. You had words like knowledge, positive, supportive, dependable to describe what I'm expecting from a mentor. And I really got into your speech. And Sarah, as you were going along, I also had a bit of a challenge because what I'm doing right now, it takes a lot of practice, and I also fail at this, is the eye contact. At times, I felt you were so into your message that you were looking at your gallery view like I'm doing right now. And what happens is when I do that, that eye contact, that synergy you had, that when you were conversing with my heart, it just went off and then it goes back and then it goes off. So my gift to you, Sarah, is this. When you're doing your next speech or when you're practicing, go and practice with the camera. Maybe consider putting your notes or a picture next to your webcam and practice. Having said that, Sarah, as you went along, you also shared something that is quite unique with mentoring. It's difficult. It's the little stories. You shared your experience from club level to regional level to international level. That's something that I aspire to do. And my mentors, just like yours, are helping me to do that. The thing is, Sarah, I was also looking for the moments of failure. The thing with mentoring, and when I'm sharing a story, I'm also listening for where are the learning moments. So maybe for the next time you have this kind of speech, consider sharing the moments of hurt, where the mentor really comes out of the dark and grabs your hand. And that is a more impactful, more powerful, more conversational moment for me. Having said that, Sarah, what I really loved about your speech is the way you have set the scene, especially with the clear call to action at the end, which was grab your mentor, reach out for your mentor, get your mentor. Sarah, in summary, you have good use of words. You were there, you had your personal stories. Consider sharing the moments of failure, only one moment of failure with the personal stories. Consider being poised on screen, making eye contact. And I believe your next speech will just really have me getting a lot of calls, of messages from members who want to be mentored by Toastmasters Sarra. Mr. Journal Evaluator, back to you.
Hey, thank you, Krishn. Thank you for your gift to Sarah and your gift to the club with your evaluation. Our third evaluation tonight comes from Sarra Gow. Now, Sarah is evaluating Roxanne, and this is going to be tough, but Sarah's up to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarra Gow.
Roxanne, congratulations. What a speech. Throughout this whole thing, I'm looking at you like I'm looking at a magician. I thought, what is she doing? She's not holding any clickers in her hands. She's definitely not advancing the slides upon herself. Is it by touching? Is it because she touched the wall? Is it because the image shows something that interact? How is she doing that? And I've been asking that question the whole time. And then I saw in chat, I wasn't the only one. Everyone is curious and impressed and wowed by what are you doing? You have to teach us after that. So congratulations. I think you really impressed us on that. And in addition, I really love your background, simple but useful. Very, very professional. I like how you dress up, and like a lot of people comments in chat already, you look really professional. So that worked really well together with the presentation that you're doing. However, I'm not here to give you a sugar-coated evaluation. So here comes the challenge part. You didn't convince me. As someone who's probably tried every weight lossing method there in the past 10 years, I still have my doubts. I'm not convinced this is the right way for me to go. So I think for you to prepare for your next version of the speech, maybe you can challenge yourself to start looking for FAQs of people who work on their weight. What are the normal questions they have? For example, top of my head, for me, I think any diet that don't see anything about involving exercise make me suspicious. I have questions regarding how long you need to keep doing the diet and how you maintain it afterwards. Will that be effective? I have doubts on will the science, will the research actually target to different race, different body of people, different people from different country or different body type might react differently. So there can be a lot of science and research and data out there. And when it acts on each individual, it all shows up differently in our body. So I would challenge you to maybe think about organizing your speech purposely, heads on answering those doubts. Say that I understand you have doubts. Let me address that. So for me, seeing the science is fascinating. It's mind-blowing, but it doesn't convince me, yes, that's the way that I should go. So that will be my challenge to you. Overall, I think you did a wonderful job with your speech, and we have so much to learn from you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for that evaluation. Now, can I ask Carl, can we get the times for the 3 evaluations? And they're about to go into the chat box because I can see him typing away furiously, only so that we can then vote for the best evaluator and so that I can make observations about their timing in the waiting, nearly there. I keep saying, by the way, that being a timekeeper is a thankless task in a Toastmasters meeting, but I thank Carl for doing it today because he has done it remarkably well. Those times are now in the chat. I see that all are eligible, so please vote for your best evaluator by sending a private message to Lukas, vote counter Lukas, as the best evaluator for the meeting. All right, time now for me to move on to the various people's roles that they have been helping me with. One is the timekeeper, Carl. Carl, you've been putting those times in the chat. Anything else you wanted to say about our timing this evening?
Just an apology to Krishn for messing up on the timing on him. I had a little premature green screen there, so sorry about that.
It's all right, he still did it perfectly. And thank you for doing that job. It's a tough job because you got to keep watching that and you want to get involved in the speech and that's what we do. All right, moving on to our R counter. Rosanna, how did we go with our R's, ums, ers, stops, starts, and other such things this evening?
Thank you very much, Mr. GE. So my report is as follows, very brief. Carl, we had about 2 R's, and Dr. Tosh, 1 Sarra, Idehen, 1 Roxanne, 2 Birgit, 2 Carol, 1 Krishn, you kind of repeated, and Sarra, go, you had 2 3 ums and 2 R's. And Graham, I caught you at 1 R and repeating as frequently as possible. That ends my report.
Thank you for that comprehensive report, and I'm glad that I got away with so few tonight. Our next person that I will be calling upon is our grammarian. Tosh, how do we go?
Thank you. I sent feedback to the individuals who, there I am with my arms. I sent the feedback in the chat to the folks that I needed to give feedback to. Other than those few, there were only a few, so it wasn't bad at all grammatically.
Fabulous. And thank you for that. And it's good that we don't embarrass people, but we do draw attention to things when they need to have attention drawn. Now, John, you've been fairly busy as the watcher tonight.
Yes, I have, Mr. General Evaluator. I've been having some private discussions in the chat, and for everyone, here's a great example of the kind of thing that can happen if you're not spending the whole meeting staring at your own video screen. Look, it was early in the morning, and it was cloudy when we started, but the sun creeps in and kind of ruins my video, especially if it was more extreme than it is this time. Sometimes it is. There's the kind of thing that the watcher can help us look for and that we need to be aware of, especially for daytime attendees. Beyond that, Roxanne, everyone was super impressed by your presentation today. You could do more presentations showing us how you accomplished that today. And for Brian, I would like to see, when you were talking about your old video, this grainy, and the video and the audio wasn't so good, a simple image of that versus how you improved it now would be just a nice comparison to accentuate what you were saying. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much there, Mr. Watcher. Now, Jim B has been our chat monitor, and there's somebody else who would have been fairly busy tonight. James, how's it gone?
Mr. General Evaluator, it went very well this evening. On a general note, all three of our speakers generated a number of responses, a variety of feedback to their presentations, and this is good because it indicates that they engaged their audience. People were focusing on what people were talking about, and that was terrific. So I liked the feedback from our speakers in general. In particular, specifically, Roxanne provided a PDF of her bibliography. Good move, Roxanne. You didn't have time to do it in your presentation, but it's information that we wanted to know, so you provided that as a PDF. Good for you. Everybody can see that by going to the chat room, and of course you've got other things on your mind, so I want to remind everybody that it's a good idea to save the chat. You can do that, it's very easy to do. Just simply click on the chat button, look for the three dots at the bottom, click on Save Chat, and it's saved as a little text file on your computer, and you can refer back to it anytime you want. It's really easy to do, and I would especially encourage our speakers to do it because, of course, the private chat doesn't give you, the general chat doesn't give you private messages, but our individual speakers will see the things that were directed to them. So everybody, save your chats. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Chat Monitor. All right, now it's time for me to evaluate those parts of the meetings which have not been evaluated, including the three evaluators. And here is a lesson to you, ladies and gentlemen. When you are putting your observations into a notepad and you do a cut and paste, you should only cut and paste one thing at a time. So for example, I have just cut and pasted that I have to get the votes from Lukas at the end, and in doing that I have just lost my evaluation of the evaluators. So I'm going to have to do this from memory. I do apologize. Before I do that, let's go to the table topics. First up, table topics, Master Antoinette, some really good cultural questions. One suggestion I would make when you are doing table topics in an online meeting is, I know we're encouraged to give the topic, then ask the participants because it makes everybody think about it. But in an online meeting, it's a good idea to ask the participant or name the participants first so that they know to turn their microphone on and we don't get that sort of 5, 10, 15 seconds while people are waiting to turn their mics on. But really good questions. Angela was so enthusiastic tonight. Birgit really made me want to go to Germany. And Taiana, Brazilian food with samba. Oh, what can I do? One thing that I would say for all of our table topics participants tonight, really good use of the topic, but not such great use of the time. All of you had plenty of time left. I would suggest that a table topic is a speech. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. Try to bear that in mind so that you use the time that you're given and turn it into a coherent speech rather than just, oh, let's just talk about this. So start where you want to start and perhaps go back to the start at the end, but really enjoyed all topics. Now, the evaluators. Who were our evaluators tonight? Let's go over to my list. Carol Prahinski. Carol, I thought, had a really good pointing to the high points of the speech which was being given tonight. But something that Carol did, and something that I would suggest for all of our evaluators, is referred just in the second person. That is, you did this, I felt that you did this, and it was all about I felt and I saw, and that's fine, but it was all being delivered just to the speaker. Now, as an evaluator, part of our role is to evaluate not just for the individual speaker, but for the audience. So go from the second person to the third, go to overhead. Carol does this really well. And I will say this, that Carol is insightful in her observations. And I commend you on doing that, Carol. But one of the things that we as evaluators should do is try to make it a learning message for everybody. So perhaps we could all consider that. You'll notice there, I just went from second to third person to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Our second evaluation was Krishn. Now, Krishn pointed to the high points of the speech and then offered a gift, as he put it, which was the one thing that he wanted the speaker to take away. And I commend you on doing that, Krishn. I've seen you refer to giving a gift before, and that's exactly what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, consider how that was done, how the suggestions were being couched as, this is something that I hope you can take away, and you take in the spirit with which it was being offered. The third evaluation tonight was from Sarra, and Sarra had a tough job because she was evaluating a speech on two levels, one on the presentation, which is something that I will get to in just a moment, and the other on the message. And during the message, something that Sarra said was that she didn't believe that Roxanne had convinced her, because her perspective was from weight loss, whereas I took from that, as a diabetic, she has convinced me. This is one of the problems that we face when we are evaluating a research topic. We have to consider what it is that the speaker is trying to have us take away. I'm not being critical of Sarra here, because we all observe speeches in our own way and we take from them what we take ourselves. But as an evaluator, try to be aware of what the speaker set out to achieve. Then say, if you don't believe they met it, say why. The evaluators tonight, though, I believe, were a really good example of a good evaluation in Toastmasters. They gave commendations, they gave recommendations, and they told the speakers what they were doing well and should not let go of, because that's something that all too often we forget. So I would like to thank all of the evaluators tonight. A general observation on the meeting: we started about 4 minutes late, not according to the 7:15 which it says on the agenda, but if you actually look at the agenda, it says that we should start doing the Sergeant at Arms and the presiding officer's briefing at 20 to the hour, not at quarter to the hour, because if we leave it go that extra 5 minutes, then we will be 4 minutes late, which we were consistently throughout this meeting. The only way that I've been able to actually give a full and comprehensive general evaluation is because we didn't have any inductions or any prospective member speeches. If we had, then we would have run overtime, which we do on a nearly consistent basis. So please consider starting the 4 minutes or 5 minutes earlier that it actually says on the agenda. I've got a couple of minutes left. I want to say first, I really enjoyed both the table topics and the Toastmasters roles. They were the major ones. Well done. Given that timing is critical in this club, I'm not sure that we should be allowing an extra minute between each speaker just to provide evaluation to the speaker. We can do that while the next speaker is being introduced. That might be a way of doing it. But I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting. I was going to say I'm going to spend a couple of minutes asking Roxanne how she did that, but we don't have time to do that. So I will hand back to the president, and then I'm hoping that Roxanne will hang around after the meeting, because I really want to know how she did that tonight. Well done. And with that, Mr. President, I hand control back to you.
Thank you very much, Graham. Thank you very much, Viviana. Really appreciated both of you and all the role players, all the speakers and all participants.
There's one last thing.
Is there anything?
I missed the evaluations notes because I had deleted them to replace vote Lukas. Can I ask if I can get Lukas to announce the results, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, General Evaluator. So let's start with Best Evaluator. And the Best Evaluator for tonight's meeting is Carol Prahinski. For table topics, Birgit Starmanns. And our best speaker for the evening is Roxanne Hosein.
Thank you very much, Lukas. Thank you, Graham and Viviana again. And it's great to be able to actually have a quick roundup with some announcements right now as president. What an excellent meeting. And I do have a few announcements. So to help you, we've got to put a summary in the chat, okay? So first of all, just a reminder that next Monday is a business meeting.
You just muted yourself somehow, Nik.
Mute.
We can't hear you.
Okay, we're back. Next Monday is a business meeting. For only part of the meeting, we're going to have the approval of the budget and hopefully a vote for our new Sergeant at Arms. And thank you again, Asil, who is here today for your service. And also, I want to put out a call for somebody to help us. Actually, the board would like to audit our accounts, and if somebody's able to do that, just please get in touch with me. I'm going to put my email address in the chat. And also, there is a club survey that we did a couple of weeks back, and I just want to make sure, if you haven't done it yet, please can you fill it in. I am going to actually update that chat right now. Also, we've got some education items which Krishn has actually asked me to pass on. And there's a lot here, so please bear with me. Next Sunday, we're pleased to announce the speechathon on Sunday, the 30th of August at 9 a.m. That's in the morning, 9 a.m. Sunday morning, Eastern Daylight Time. It's a speakathon and virtual breakfast with online presenters. And this is a case where we can actually have longer speeches and members looking forward to deliver extra speeches. There are 6 speaking slots, which I believe 3 are still left. So please have a look at the website. On Monday the 31st, we have Graham Cairns as the Toastmaster of the day. And please just make sure that you actually take up one of the speaking slots that is left. And also, you can talk to Krishn if you want to take that speaking role. And also, other roles are available. Again, please have a look at the website. In addition to this, we announced last week that there's going to be some contests in September. 14th of September is a table topic contest. 21st of September is the evaluation contest. And again, more details would follow over the next 24 hours. And please sign up as a participant and also other role players as well. So please talk to Krishn. In terms of other aspects on here, Krishn would like me to thank our second speaker today, Sarra Idehen, for bringing up the topic of mentoring. Why? One member sought out a potential member. One member got her member, got her mentor. So members, please reach out to either VPM Lou or VPE Krishn and get to confirm your mentors. Now then, I believe that that's all the announcements today. Thank you very much. Krishn is going to put some details about the education in the chat. And I do believe we are at 9 p.m. and we're going to finish on time. One quick thing though, actually, just a quick thing about the table topics, about the start time, Graham. Thank you very much. I will take mine to that and I will start the meetings earlier, appreciate it. But I believe it's a convention in this club that we normally have the table topic master ask the question first. But again, I'll talk to you offline. I believe that's the case. But yes. Thank you very much for your evaluation and thank you very much to everybody for coming today. And I declare the meeting closed. And after the recording goes off, I'll be happy to talk to guests and members. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you. Great job.